welcome back to the Love is Healing podcast, where we talk about integrated mental health, addictions, eating disorders, frequency medicine, functional medicine, and personal stories that allow us to tie it all together. Today we have our guest, my niece, Iris. She happens to be my oldest niece, which is pretty cool.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. All right, Iris. So tell us a little bit about where you grew up. You grew up in Southern California. I know that people call that area ghetto. I wouldn't necessarily call it ghetto. Maybe it's right outside the ghetto. I don't know. But I don't know.
Okay, well, it's a small town, like everybody knows each other. And maybe we don't consider it ghetto because that's all we knew. Like, it wasn't that bad, but I mean, it wasn't like the suburbs, you know. Our parents were working, like to make ends meet for us. Um, like me as a kid, I remember like going to school, walking home with my brother because it wasn't even far. And then also like coming home and I'll see my mom cooking like fideo or some caldo de pollo. Like that, those are the memories that I remember. But even when I tell my mom that, she's like, I didn't cook every day. Like I was at work like sometimes, but it was just a nice, fond memory that I remember. So I felt like she was cooking every day. Like I would come home and see her, but she said sometimes she'll be at work because she used to work two jobs.
Yeah, funny. I remember her cooking every day also. I don't know. I just know that she really didn't take you out to like McDonald's or anything like that, other than maybe on the weekends for like one meal at most, but more like once a month or something.
Yes, I remember the price. It was a luxury, more of a luxury when I was little. Like, wow, like we're going to McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. That's awesome. At some point when you were little, your dad was deported to Mexico.
Yes.
So you grew up by and large without a dad. What was that like for you?
Honestly, I do not really remember. It's always been me, my mom, and my brother. Sometimes I look at pictures and I think I was like 3 years old and it's like us visiting my dad, but I really do not remember him at all. My brother like remembers some stuff. He's 3 years older than me, so he was five at the time, and like I remember him telling me that he remembers getting frozen chicken nuggets from the vending machine when we would go visit him. I guess that was like a good memory out of he some light out of something dark, I guess.
He definitely liked them chicken nuggets, that's for sure.
Yes.
Mostly, I guess we are here to talk a little bit about how you grew up, right? I guess like okay, so since we're talking about things that are dark, what are some other dark things that you had to either adapt to or overcome as you were growing up?
I honestly do not remember no dark. I remember all the good. The I, I don't know. Like I mean, like what I've told you before, like when you did that thing on me, and like a memory that I remember that wasn't as good was like, my little sister's dad. That's the only thing that I could remember that was bad. But yeah, that's all I'd say.
For the audience, what I did to her was I did some NET,
NET,
some
some
neuroemotional
neuro.
technique, because as you all know by now, hopefully, I am completely obsessed with it. So she gave me the grace of letting her try it, which was awesome. What are some positive things that you grew up with? Positive people that helped shape your journey?
Okay, well, one person I would like to say, well, there's many, but you were one of them. Ever since I was like little, I always seen you. You were always smart, and you still are smart. Um, I remember when I was gonna graduate high school, and I didn't know what to do like with college, and you were enrolled in college, and you helped me sign up for school, and you really motivated me to be better. You were first generation. I always just seen you as a role model. You always been a role model to me. Um, and look at you now, a businesswoman. It
That's so sweet, honestly.
all pays off. All your hard work paid off, you know?
I'm touched. Thank you. Yeah, really, for me, it's just being persistent. Because if you just keep going and going and going, like, and you don't stop, you eventually get there, right? Like, I
Hmm.
remember when I was in college, I had to walk to my classes, and the campus was a decent size. So it's like it could take me 20 minutes to get to class. And it was awful sometimes when I was carrying this backpack that was like 30 pounds, 40 pounds. And it was like 110 degrees outside. And it's like, I know I need to make it or I should go to class, but it's like, is it worth it at this point? And it's
Hmm.
like, well, if I just keep going, I will eventually get there, you know, one step
Yeah.
at a time. Which, like, literally. And at the same time, it was a good metaphor for life of like, all right, girl, it's hard. And you just keep going one step at a time and you'll get there eventually.
Yes. Very true.
And for me, thinking about my experiences of when I was in college, I mean, I was like 17 to 21 when I was in college. So then in my head, like, I still, okay, so for the audience, I moved away when I went to college when I was 17. So then my niece, we talk periodically, but I don't really see her all that often unless I'm going back home, which isn't that often anymore. So in my head, when I think of you, you're still like 12ish. I think you're like, yeah, when you had like the hair that was like
I
side to
know.
side. You're like 12ish, right?
With blonde.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I remember even sometimes, like when you moved away, like I would go with you to your dorm, and it was like the coolest ever,
Yeah.
you know?
I had an apartment off of campus. I guess it was on campus housing, but off campus. And I had a roommate that was an artist, and I really credit her for everything. It was so colorful and bright. And it really looked super whimsical and magical, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think of you as being 12. So then you reference these things of like me being a role model and things like that. And I think this is an interesting thing because, like, I've definitely read about it in textbooks, but I haven't really experienced it firsthand too much of like, I guess specifically with immigration, like you have immigrant families and then you have people that stay back, that stay in the hometown and things. And then there's a person or a couple of people that move away. And sure, maybe they have like material success and things, but they don't really have, I don't know, it's just an interesting disconnection. It's like the person who moves away does get material success or there's grief and leaving the family behind. At the same time, it's like, I need to leave because if I don't, then I'm not going to go anywhere because there's nowhere to go here. Kind of speaking back
Yeah.
to like the ghetto piece,
Yeah.
you know? And then on your end, it's like, oh yeah, here's my tia, my aunt. I admire her, whatever. And I look to her as a role model. Like even if we didn't talk a whole lot for the past, I don't know, 15 years or something like that.
Mhm.
Right.
Yes.
So what images were in your head or what words were in your head that kept you motivated or connected to that sense of resiliency of like moving forward and persisting?
Like from now, like why I continued going to school. I took like a 7 year break from going to school because once so I went to college from 2016 to 2019. And then I ended up getting pregnant. So then I took a long break and then I got pregnant again and then another long break. And now that my daughter's 3, she's gonna be 4. Like I put her in Head Start. It was either put her in Head Start or keep her at home because she was still 3. Um, but I was like, I'd rather keep her in school I mean, make her go to school so she could learn and instead of just being home. That was my time, like I could do something for myself because my whole life, that whole break, everything's always revolved around my partner and my kids. I'm also a stay-at-home mom because I can't work either. Thankfully, I'm blessed to have a partner who takes care of us, you know, and yeah, my motivation is them. I want to be better for my kids and I want to be a role model for them also. Like even yeah, we take a break or some life happens, but you could still do it. There's time, you know?
I wholeheartedly agree. On the topic of role models, like, okay, I'm gonna chime in with my thoughts of
Okay.
how we grew up, where we grew up, and then if you could too. So, like for
Okay.
me, I mentioned before in like the first episode, but I grew up in a place where pretty much everybody was Mexican. Most people spoke Spanish. You're a generation after me, so it's a little bit different for you, but for us, it's like everyone spoke Spanish. Their parents were from Mexico. And I don't know, most of them were like illegal immigrants, right? And
Uh-huh.
so I don't know, it's just like a different culture, I would say. And it was a lot of people with working class jobs. So yeah, grocery store, gas station, different things like that. No real professionals. And if there were
Mhm.
professionals, I guess, yeah, in retrospect, yeah, most of them were like white or black. So,
Yes.
so it's like either you're Mexican and you're poor, or you're black and white and successful. That's how I looked at it. Not that that was true,
Yes.
but that's how I
Yeah.
felt. And if
Hmm.
you needed like super professionals, and it's like, well, you had to drive somewhere like, I don't know, 40 minutes away or more. I don't know,
Hmm.
maybe an hour or something like that. So it's like I did grow up in a small town, and there was a lot of gangs going on. Again, not where I lived per se, maybe like
10
10
minutes
minutes
down the
down the
street.
road. Yeah.
Hmm.
Which was a completely different neighborhood and a completely different feel, right? But like you have family that live there, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
I didn't, but you did. And it's just different. And it's like, damn, like that exists there. I don't know. And so I would hear of things like my sisters were involved, right?
Hmm.
And when they were in middle school and when they were in high school, like I grew up seeing that, and it's like, well, they were doing things. They were doing people. And they were drinking alcohol, ditching school, using marijuana and different things like that. And it's like, one, to me, that was like a bad decision. Like, why are you
Hmm.
sabotaging? And two, like your parents sacrificed to come to this country for you to do that. They made that
Yes.
sacrifice for me too. So I'm going to take advantage of that sacrifice, you know?
Hmm.
And then three, like I grieved. Like it's like, damn, like why are you hurting yourself like that? Like you deserve so much better.
Yeah.
Um, and then I saw them have kids with these dudes who were into the same type of thing where it's like, man, but you're so pretty, you know how to cook, you're a really kind person, but you made these choices with these people.
Hmm.
And that hurt too to watch. Like it's like I love you. Like why are you in
Yeah.
these patterns, you know?
Not valuing yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then my sisters had kids, and I was like, man, these kids are the shit, right? And I was like, wow, they're such beautiful souls, full of love. And then you guys were all like sponges. You were
Yeah.
excited to be alive and just ready to like be any type of new experiences. And it was really fun to be around you all, you know?
Hmm.
And it was fun to be a role model, and it was fun to be someone that you looked up to. I already like that role anyway in life,
Hmm.
but it was really cool to have it in the family, you know?
Yeah, we're all around the same age too. Like,
Yeah. I think really what I saw in the moment growing up and then looking back is a lot of people that would quit at life. And so what I learned after I graduated and became a therapist was that that's actually a really big trauma symptom is when you have a lot of trauma, you tend to either be a really high achiever or you tend to just kind of go with the flow and see what life has and give up on a lot of your dreams. And it was hard to, growing up, watch a lot of friends quit, you know? Like,
mhm,
I remember I had this friend, we went to elementary school together, and we went to the same university, and he was an engineering major. I think he was an electrical engineering major. And he had all these goals and dreams and different things like that, but then he quit, you know? And a common theme that I see actually is a lot of people growing up with like alcoholic dads in particular, you know,
mhm.
like witnessing a lot of fighting between the mom and the dad. So good thing for the most part you didn't really witness that,
Yeah.
you
I'm
know?
all I said there's some good and some bad in not having a dad.
True. That is part of the good. And that was tough. And like with my sisters too, like your mom definitely took care of her kids, right?
Hmm.
And I can see how she's very resilient and she's really tough and she's had to become tough. And that's inspiring. But at the same time, she's really protective, right? And she's
Yes,
also
yeah,
been really strict, which sucks, which she got from my mom. But that's also
yes,
been really protective because it's like, look at your character and look at
yeah,
your values, right? They're pretty intact.
yeah,
And
hmm,
same with your brother.
yeah,
But yeah, let's talk a little bit about people that maybe we grew up around. My dad
hmm,
was a role model for the whole family, really, right? And he,
yes. And he would always like push us not to give up. The saying that he would say all the time, it was, I love myself, I'm when I'm responsible. Yes. I'm gonna start telling my kids that.
yeah, you should.
Yes.
He would make me say that age 5 to like probably 17.
And look at it, went down to a generation. Your nieces and your
Yeah,
nephews,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah. Maybe you weren't as close to my dad, right, as like your brother was, but what
No,
are some
my
other
sister too. My little sister was very close to my grandpa. Um, no, I wasn't. I love my grandpa, but I feel like I was more close to my grandma. When I would get out of class, the day's over, I would go to my grandma's, we'll be in the back. My grandma will be making fish because we she used to love making fish, white rice, and salad. So that's what we would eat because my mom will be at work. My grandma will make dinner, and then I'll be eating there with me, my grandma, and my grandpa. We'll talk about everything, school, about aliens.
I was gonna, yeah, what kinds of conversations would you have about aliens and spirits and things like that?
Yeah, my grandma. Oh my goodness, was stuck on aliens, extraterrestres. That's a good memory. So, I was very lucky, and fortunate enough that my grandpa was at least able to meet my son before he passed away. He was born in September. My grandpa passed away in February, and he would always be so happy. Like when I would come over, like he'll be like, "Oh, I gotta go." So he would always get excited. Even with my great grandma, I that little lady. She, my mom would tell her that I came and her in her walker walking. And it was like, she's like so old. Like, and she went, she's all sweaty with her little towel. And I would have drove to her house. Like I was planning to go, but she beat me to the punch because I wanted to see the baby, you know?
Because she loved you a lot.
Yeah, she's my favorite. She's my favorite little lady.
She died too, around the time that my dad died. What values did she leave you with? What are some things that you'll probably never forget and pass on to your kids that she taught you?
Many things. She was like amazing. She was the best grandma in the world. Um, before she passed away, I was very lucky enough to like, I don't want, not gonna start crying. Um, like before she passed away, that's when I started driving. So once I got like when I would not go to school, like on my days off, because I was going to college, we'll make plans. She wants to go to the doctors or she wants to go fix her jewelry at the swap meet. We'll go. Um, Yeah, and or like sometimes I'll tell her like if she could teach me how to cook, and then we'll do that at her house. And it was nice.
I think you're saying things without saying them, but I hear you saying that you really valued quality time together and you really learned to value a sense of duty, commitment to the family, and respecting your elders, would you say?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Maybe also just like in general, the value of family supporting one another.
Yes. And she was like so proud of everything that I did, like everything, you know, all of us. She was proud of all of us.
Yeah, as you say that, that makes me want to cry too.
I know, yeah.
I told her she was gonna cry. She was like, no. But yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I moved. Um, like I live an hour away from my old house. And I remember she was so sad because, we're very close. I always been closer, but even when I started driving, like it was just easier for me to like visit her. She was sad, but she was happy for me, and then like it's just I tell my mom sometimes like it's just so strange like how she didn't want to move because she wanted to be close to us, and then now I live where I live. She's literally 3 minutes away at the cemetery. I didn't even think of that when I moved here. So at the end of the day, she's still with me.
Yeah, in a really deep
And
sense, she is.
yes, and like even when like for Christmas, I remember like 2 years before she passed away, because I was working. So then she always had her little jewelry. So I had bought us matching jewelry, necklace. And, now I wear both of them and she always so one is like Jesus on the cross, and then the other one is the Virgin Mary. And I remember I wanted the Virgin Mary one, and I told her which one did she want. And she's like, oh, La Virgen. And I was like, are you sure you don't want the other one? But I let her have it. But it's just cute. It's a heart and it cuts in half like a broken heart, and it says amores aparte pero siempre juntos. And she is always with me, my grandma, you know?
Yeah,
And
definitely. I love that. And by the way, that means like two loves that are apart but always
we're
together.
always together.
Going back to my dad, he also taught you about quality time and things like that, and also family duty and different things like that, right? Showing up for each other, having self confidence, the value of persisting. How about my mom, your grandma? What are some things that she taught you? Probably the importance of like bringing the family together, the importance of knowing how to cook or like take care of
Yes.
each other. And it's not just like, yeah, like do tasks, but also like, I don't know, like,
Being there for one another. Being there for one another, being supportive, um, just in general. Yeah, like what family is about.
yeah, that connection, I think.
hmm
What about your mom? What are some things that she has imparted on you?
Of being responsible. My mom is very responsible. She's always been like that. Like she's the best mom in the world to me, but she's my mom. You know, um, like never give up. You don't have to depend on anyone. She's very dependable. She's
Super
very
dependable.
responsible.
Yeah,
She's responsible.
and
She's
independent.
responsible. Independent. There's the word. Independent. No, I'm just kidding. No, the sound. But she's always been a hard worker. She always provided. We weren't the richest, but we were never without.
She is very loyal as well, and she's very
Mhm.
good at being a planner. And whenever she plans
Yes.
things, she's really good at executing things. She's really good to committing to things, sticking by her word. Those are some things that I've taken
hmm
from her as well.
Yes. And then my grandma, like you asked me to about my grandma. Um, I just remember like, well, I love my grandma too, my mom's mom. I remember like she was a nurse. She would work 12 hours. Sometimes my grandpa would come knocking on the door and say, Mija, ¿quieres ir a recoger tu abuela? And it'll be like 10 o'clock in the night, and I'll go with him to go pick up my grandma from work. And then sometimes I'll tell my grandma, ay, quiero un yamboya. And then she'll buy me Jack in the Box. Or she'll make me frijoles at home. We used to eat black beans, and she'll make me carne asada. Like those are just little memories that I remember. And it was like 10, 11 o'clock in the night. And there I am, little in elementary, eating that. And I know she was tired, but she still did it out of love. She could have said, no, I'm tired, or ask your mom, but she didn't. She still did it for me.
And she wasn't bitter. She was more than happy to provide that for you, right? If it
Yes.
meant that you would feel loved in that moment.
Yes.
That is so sweet. Really, what I'm hearing is that you grew up with a lot of that immigrant mentality, or that specifically Mexican immigrant mentality, where, like,
hmm
regardless of what happens, regardless of all of the bad things that happen, you can always find the good,
hmm
and you just never give up, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's awesome. You are I guess technically at the tail end of your mid 20s.
Mm-hmm.
What words do you have for anybody else in your situation? I think, like, well, I guess one thing that you could really take away from this conversation is absolutely like you always have a choice. Like, a lot of bad stuff happen. I haven't highlighted them just because it's like, for privacy reasons. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure there's going to be a lot of family that's going to listen to this. And, like, that's not the point of this episode. The point is, throughout all the bad stuff, you can always find good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It is a mentality thing. It's whatever you decide to do. Like, whatever you're thinking up here really reflects itself in your world, right? In your experiences.
Yes.
And then if you had words to say to anybody else who's like, nah, I'm already too old to go back to school. Like, what's the point? Or I already have kids, or I can't do it all. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Like, anybody in those kinds of situations, what would you say to them?
To believe in yourself, because honestly, I think that's how I was like, oh, like I did want to go into nursing and I was like, that's gonna take forever. I don't have enough time. Like, who's gonna watch my kids? Like, they're still little. When they're on break, who's gonna watch them? Like, I think my main concern, my struggle was who's gonna watch my kids. And it's like at the end of the day, you only have well, I have my partner, but you know what I mean? Like, you have yourself, like, because you're the default parent. Everything falls on the mom, but uh, don't give up. If I could do it, you could do it. You know, I'm still young, but you know, and at the end of the day, time's passing us anyways. Might as well get a degree while time's passing. There's people that are like 60, 50 going back to school that I see. My grandma sometimes takes classes still, you know? You can still get a certificate. Do something. There's so many stuff we could still do. Don't doubt yourself. Don't cut yourself short.
And life is so full of experiences that there's always something to learn. And then especially now, I think with technology advancing as quickly as it does, there's always more that you can learn, right?
Yeah, and it's like it feels good when you go to school. Even if you work, I guess, like, you feel like you're not doing something just for you, but also for your kids. Anything's possible. Passing a class, going to school, I gotta wake up, I gotta go to school. It makes me like, oh yeah, like let me make a bagel real quick. And your kids see you. Like, for me, it's my kids. They see me go to school. Oh, mommy, you have school. There was this one time, actually, when my son was on spring break. He was on spring break and I didn't have nobody to watch my kids, but luckily my professor, most professors don't let you take your kids, or, oh wow, you miss. And sometimes that does unmotivate you. Like, are you going to choose school or your kids? And for me, obviously, I'm going to choose my kid. Luckily for me, the professor that I have, I know she cares about the students. She tells me, okay, you have kids. Okay, if you can, you can bring them if you want. As long as they're not disruptive. When I told her that I didn't have nobody to watch my kids, she said I could miss or I could come to school. I decided to go to school because I'm more of a visual learner than, doing it on my own. My son was so excited. It was his first day of college you know. So he went to school with me. He loved it. He even drew the professor a picture. She gave him some colors, the colors being Sharpies and pens, highlighters. He was just happy to be there and learn. He even asked a question when she says, does anybody have a question? Um, it was just like a fun experience for him. And he told me he wants to go to school when he gets older. He's only 5, but he liked it because it was big, and he said he was just so happy to be there with me. It's a good feeling.
Or you went again and you turned a difficult experience into something good.
Yes.
And from that, your kid is learning and he's going to take that. And I'm damn sure that he's going to teach his kids the same too if he ever has any kids.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And he's only 5.
He wants to be a dentist when he grows up.
These are really, really wise words, really valuable words.
Mm-hmm.
And I think too, like, for anybody watching that is in that situation, you can also just ask for help, you know? Like, I think that's one of the main reasons that I see people fail And when I say the word fail, I mean like giving up on something that's challenging or just giving up altogether. To me, that's the only real failure, as a
Hmm.
lot of social media is saying these days. I wholeheartedly agree, yes. And yeah, I mean, if you don't ask something, the answer is always going to be no. But if you do ask, there's a slight chance that the answer is going to be yes, right? I mean, and if you're someone in school and you have an extenuating circumstance, definitely ask your school. They might have some support for it. Could be able to hook you
Yes.
up with someone who does have the ability to give you support for it. Okay, like when I was younger, when a lot of people were enrolling into college, I used to love helping people like research different colleges, research different programs, tuitions, assistance
Hmm.
programs, all those things just for fun,
Yeah.
you know, just to help
Yeah.
people. Because it's like, heck yeah, I want to see people succeed.
Hmm.
But it's also really gratifying to see people around me be happy and like find programs that actually match what they want to do.
Yeah. And if you look, there's a lot of programs like and scholarships, you know. You could get one for literally, you could get a scholarship for for writing with your left hand.
Cool.
You know, there's like little scholarships like that that you could do anything with.
Just search it up and see what you can find.
Hmm.
All right. We didn't prep for this, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Okay.
So when I did the thing to you, right? So for the audience, really what I did was like I did contact reflex analysis, which is a technique where essentially like I she had a chief complaint, which was her vision. And
Yes.
then I scored it in her body because I was muscle testing. Her body gave me a protocol for different things to support her sense of vision. And one of the things that popped up in there also was NET, neuroemotional technique. So we did a round, I think, of that as well. So
Hmm.
what was that like for you to experience that at all? What was the muscle testing like? I know that was different, right? But
Yeah, it was something that I've never done, but even after I felt like like relieved, I guess you could say, you know. I would do it again.
yeah.
And it's me changing, I have to change my socks or something like, you know. It's like you know what my body wants just by your muscle testing. When you asked me if I wanted to do this or if you could do this, of course, like that's something that you study and you're learning. Okay, I'll help you. You're my aunt. Like, of course I would help, you know?
Oh yeah, because I was trying to get more practice, right? Because I had
Yeah.
just learned that technique. That's right.
Hmm.
Forgot about that. But yeah, definitely feel more confident for that. Thank you so much for that practice.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for letting me be your guinea pig.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. You have any final thoughts for the audience?
Always believe in yourself. You could do anything and don't give up. Don't cut yourself short. We only have one life. Let's make the best of it.
Amen to that. With that, everyone, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.